Hi there. South Africa has recently deployed nearly 3,000 of its troops in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo. That is the region surrounding the city of Goma. And so far there have been two casualties. Two South African soldiers were killed in a mortar bomb attack about 2 weeks ago. And then the South African government itself has issued a statement to the effect that the deployment itself is going to cost nearly 2 billion South African rand, and 2 billion 2 billion rand is nearly 105 million American dollars, and that's expected to be the cost of the deployment. Now, this deployment is open-ended. There is no date at confirmed date on when the hostilities are going to end, and there is no timeline on when we expect South Africa to withdraw its troops, and then the costs are only provisional. The costs are likely to increase once hostilities start. The real war is actually in fighting is underway, and then so now the question that arises is, why is South Africa taking the lead? The Southern African Development Community Standby Force, under which the umbrella organization under which the deployment is taking place, has committed 7,000 troops, and South Africa is providing half of these troops. And one has to ask, why is South Africa taking such a stance, and what are South African interests besides the solidarity principle that is being touted, and that's cited as the reason for South African involvement in the Democratic Republic of Congo. I'll first start with the issue of trade. South Africa has got, as you can see from the screen on there, South Africa exported nearly 1.07 billion American dollars in exports to the Democratic Republic of Congo. That was in 2021. That's those figures are from 2021. And then the private South African companies, and I've accessed this document from the NUMSA website. NUMSA is the National Union of Mine Workers in South Africa. And this article actually relates to the initial deployment of South African peacekeepers. South Africa deployed 1,750 peacekeepers to the DRC. I think that was in late 2009. And then it says, the article goes on to say that in January 2004, President Thabo Mbeki signed a bilateral agreement worth 60 billion South African rand, and it covered some things like infrastructure and development, agriculture, defense and security. 60 billion rand is worth about like 500 million US dollars. And then the article goes on to say that Velapada Holdings is a company owned by top South African politician Togo Setswale, and it said the company was to invest 60 billion rand in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And then another South African company, Afri Mineral Holdings, owned by Zwelakhe Sisulu. Zwelakhe Sisulu was a son of a top ANC politician, Walter Sisulu. It said it was supposed to invest 600 million rand in copper and cobalt mining deposits in the eastern part of the DRC. Then it all goes on to say that Eskom is involved in the first phase to rehabilitate the Inga hydroelectric power station, and the deal at that point in time was worth 24 billion South African rand. So yeah, So you can see for yourself the level of South African involvement in the economy of the Democratic Republic of Congo. And then let me see if I can get you the other companies involved in the Democratic Republic of Congo. This is from a website. I got it from, it's called South African Institute of International Affairs, and the article is from 2016, and it says that the South African success story, that is according to the article, has been the establishment of Kibali Gold, a joint venture of nearly 2.7 billion American dollars involving the Congolese state-owned mining company Sokimo, which owns 10% of the venture, then Anglo Gold Ashanti, which owns 45%, and Rand Gold 45%. Anglo Gold and Rand Gold both are South African companies. Then the article goes on to say that Kibali Gold produced 526,627 ounces of gold in 2014. And then in 2019 it produced 642,720 ounces of gold, and is said to be one of the biggest gold mines in Africa. So yeah, for those who might not be aware of the geography of the Congo, Kibali mine is located in Ituri province, right on the border with South Sudan and Uganda. And then the article goes on to say that PPC, the second largest South African cement company, has pledged to invest 280 million in the construction of a new cement plant 250 kilometers from Kinshasa. Yeah, so that's the level of South African involvement. And it also goes on to say that South African Airways flies 7 times a week from Johannesburg to Kinshasa and then Lubumbashi. And then the article goes on to say that the largest and potentially the most significant economic collaboration between the two countries is the regional mega plan of generating electricity from the Inga Dam on the Congo River. The ambitious Grand Inga hydropower project involves 6 phases of development. It is forecast to produce 40,000 megawatts of renewable clean electricity, and it is the world's largest electricity scheme, and it is going to produce 40% of Africa's power needs. Now, this has to be taken in the context of South Africa's ongoing electricity crisis. It has got a shortage of electricity. And just to show you the scale of what we are talking about here, the Grand Inga has been costed at around 120 billion American dollars, with phase 1 estimated to cost at 14 billion. But little of this finance is yet in place. But this just shows you the scale of South African involvement in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the war in the East is obviously put all the South African plans in jeopardy, and South Africa has to protect its interest in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now let me see if I can go you. Then there is a talk of the electric building. Electric batteries factory in Kinshasa, and I'm not sure where. And then there is mention again of the Grand Inga project, that is from the Feather Africa website. Now, the most interesting aspect of this presentation, what I wanted to share with you, is this guy here, Kulubuse Zuma. That's the guy in the bottom right hand of the screen on there, and he is a nephew of the former president Jacob Zuma, and he owns a company called Capricat Limited, and it secured a 100 billion rand oil deal in the DRC. I think this is from 2010, when the DRC held an auction for oil blocks on the length and breadth of the Congo, I'll show you the map of the Congo with the oil blocks. Let me see if I can get that on screen here. Let me see. That's yeah. So that's the Capricat, the company owned by Kulubuse Zuma, has won an auction for to explore for oil on the eastern edge of it's Lake Albert. That's what I've circled here in green here, where it says numbers 1 and 2. Those are the oil blocks owned by Capricat and Foxwell. Those are companies owned by Kulubuse Zuma. So now you see, this is the level of South African involvement in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the deployment of troops, despite the pledges of solidarity and all that. This is actually to secure their business interest, make sure that South African investments are safe, and Congo is a safe destination for South African investments. Thank you so much for taking time to follow this the presentation, and if you are interested in material of this kind, please subscribe. Thank you. Bye.